Hello, YouTube. And moment of silence over. Anyways, I wanted to go ahead and say a couple things before I start this review. First off, I'm extremely excited right now because more figures, of course. Second, they are different from the figures we've gotten before, so that excites me even more. We'll talk more about the figures, of course. Stop saying that here in a second. So anyways, what I actually wanted to say before this starts. First off, thank you so much for 70 subscribers. Actually, 71 currently. I don't even know what to say. Yesterday we had 69 subs. Today I wake up and we have 2 more. So I'm gaining about 1 sub a day, 1 to about 5 subs a day right now. So even though that doesn't sound like a lot, that's way more than I expected. I can't believe that there's people that actually want to listen and gain the information that I am saying, or care enough about anything that I am doing to hit that subscribe button. So that's just something that I've never anticipated, that I would be growing this fast. I expected maybe 1 sub a month. That was my goal originally. When I started doing this a little bit more, what's the word? Come on. Frequently. That's what I was looking for. So once I got into making more videos per month, things like that, the growth is exponentially greater than what it was last year. I can't believe I started, or not last year, but like a year ago, pretty much. I started doing this channel with around 30 subs whenever I was making stupid mobile game videos that I had no rights to, or anything like that, and I deleted all of those and started over. So I had 30 subs when I started reviewing action figures, and I only had 49 before I started reviewing Action Force, maybe a little less than that, somewhere in the 40s. And now that I started reviewing Action Force, not even, 2-3 months of consistent videos, I've already gained over 20 subscribers, and I've lost a couple, but I've gained them back. So that's roughly 20 subs in just a couple months, is a lot to me. So first off, just thank you guys for subscribing for whatever reason. It makes me super happy to know that I'm gaining subscribers like that. So that's all I wanted to say off topic. But on topic, I have all of Series 3, which is the first series in the Action Force lineup that I have bought every figure. And not only did I buy them all, I bought them all at once in one order, which cost around 190 USD. So actually, that's a lie. I bought all of them in one order except for the Steel Brigades, which I purchased a little bit sooner. They shipped at the same time, so it doesn't really matter that they were separate, but everything else was one order. So I'm going to start out with the troops, and then I'll do the core figures afterwards. I think I'm going to do Pandora last and have her bloody variant and her in one review. And I just want to go ahead and say that I will not be opening my bloody Pandora. It kind of just, the box art and everything about that figure, I don't know, I don't want to open it. I have the normal Pandora figure that I will be opening and unboxing in that review, so I don't really want to open the bloody repaint, since it's actually just a repaint. It comes with everything the normal one does, and it comes with a nicer box, completely special to that character. And yeah, I don't know, I don't want to open it. I have 2 figures right now that I'm not opening. That's the bloody Pandora and then the Steel Brigade that got packaged backwards, which is still baffles me to the day. So all that being said, this is the review we're doing today. I could do them one by one, and initially I wanted to do all of Series 3 in one video, but this desk doesn't have enough depth to put the camera back far enough for you guys to see them all, or enough length to even display them all in their boxes to start that review. So I can't really do that due to limitations in space. But what I will be doing is taking a look at the Republic Guards that are part of this series. The left is the Delta, and then the right is the Spec Ops Trooper. And the artwork on these I appreciate a lot. I don't know why, but I do love the comic sort of cartoon-esque art style of whoever drew these. I know I forgot his name. There's one main guy, and then I know Bobby does some, or I think he does some of the artworks, but not all of them. And you can kind of tell which, like, the styles are slightly different. But I like these cartoon look because the figures look realistic, but their packaging is different from them looking like a comic book is sort of interesting. So these boxes are going to be primarily the same. Since they are troop builders and not core figures, they are the windowless packaging, which you get what you get. I mean, I like it in some aspects, and then in others I don't. But either way, I'm ordering them online, and at the moment you can't order Action Force in stores, at least in the US. So it doesn't really matter if it has a windowed box, because you can't pick it out in store or pick through the ones that have better quality control or not. So, I mean, I don't hate it. Some people might, but I love the artwork. That's enough being said there. You can see it. I don't need to explain the artwork any further. Here's the top of the box, which is nothing, basically. The bottom of the box is always going to be the same. No children under 5 should be playing with Action Force. Sorry, 4-year-olds. Series 3 paint deco is this sort of maroon digital camo, which I just noticed it actually has a design. I don't know if that's coming across on camera too well. It looks like it is. The same that we get on every box. And then we have this, and I've flipped the boxes now, so the left is the Spec Ops and the right is the Delta Trooper, and they have the same poses as they do on the front of the packaging, just black and white as per usual. And I picked these guys up, or these girls up, to finish the wave for one, but also you should know by now that the troop builders are my favorite figures, simply because they're more... I've said this before, but I like the troops that don't really have names, that are sort of in uniform and maybe slightly more realistic military than others, just because I think they're cooler. But I also like that we're getting the Delta and the Spec Ops Trooper, because the Delta Trooper male variant was the first figure that I ever got from Action Force and the gear pack, which is on my channel if you guys want to check that out. It's my first Action Force review. And then I have 2 Spec Ops, because there's 2 gear packs for those. So I like those guys a lot too. And green and black, I've said this before, you guys know I like green and black. So I'm going to open these up and show you what's inside. I actually have no idea what is inside, but before I do that and forget, here is the back of the box with the file cards. I'm not sure if this one is different. I took a look at the Steel Brigades and learned that the Steel Brigade box or file card on the male and the female is different. The female is copied and pasted up to a certain point, and then the male's has an extra sentence at the bottom. So this might be the same thing, might be completely different. I don't actually care to read this because I already kind of know what it says based off of the other versions that I've already reviewed. So of course you have your 1 action point. Since these are cheaper figures, it makes sense you're getting less action points out of it, and I'm still excited and wondering what we will be getting with the mail-in action points. I haven't kept up with 3POA lately, so I'm not sure if it's already been revealed. So you guys can let me know in the comments below. And here is the Republic Guard for the Delta Trooper version on the back there. So we'll go ahead and open these up off camera, and I'll be right back. Alright, so now that they're out of the packaging, I noticed a couple things I want to talk about. And since this video is over 10 minutes already, I'm not going to waste any more of your time explaining everything and doing what I normally do. So, they come with the same stands that every normal Action Force figure comes with. They're even copyrighted for 2022, so they are exactly the same stands that were just, reordered. But what kind of sucks for people like me, I guess, is the first thing I notice, and we're going to get into the accessories now, is the packaging comes sort of, I don't know if that's heat sealed or vacuum sealed, but either way it's sealed to where once you rip it, you might as well throw it away because it's trash. So the only bag that doesn't come like that is the big bag. That's the resealable bag that this and the figure comes in. And I have a slight problem with that, is I usually keep my bags, and I guess it's a good thing because I won't be cluttering up my weapons tin more now, but I have to now find more ways to, organize, because I guess I can use the bags I already have until I run out of them, if that's how they're all gonna be. Hopefully not, but I don't know why they made this change. I'm sure most people don't care at all, but I had to say it since it is something that is new, and these are new figures from Action Force entirely, almost. Yeah, so I thought I would mention that. It almost makes me not even want to open the accessories. So, as far as what the bags actually pertain, as you saw, we do get one alternate head for both figures, and every troop builder usually comes with that. It will not focus on the head because it's in the plastic. Sort of derpy eyes there, but that's okay. Probably won't be displaying mine with that head until I get another one. I like to get two just so I can have one displayed with the alternate head and be a different race, but I don't know. That's enough about that. Of course, we get the alternate hands. It looks to me, I haven't opened them, of course, but it does look like they are exactly the same as the hands we would normally get on Action Force figures. You have the trigger fingers that come on them, and then the fisted hands, the open palm, and then the gripping hands that usually grip a knife or a barrel. And both of these figures come with the same weapon, so they both come with this custom MP7 with extended mags, this pretty big sight. I don't even know what type of sight that is, or optics that would be, if that is a 4x zoom, or maybe it's integrated night vision or something. Thermal, kind of looks like thermal sight. But anyways, they come with this MP7 has Picatinny rail that's not really usable because we don't get accessories like that, and then we do get a suppressor, and it does look like it has a hole for the muzzle flash that it does not come with, which is interesting that these do not come with muzzle flashes. So, on to the figures, since the Delta Trooper comes with exactly the same thing that I just showed you, but the hands are in gray, and of course the head is in green, but you are already seeing that. Since these are new, I'm assuming they're completely new tooling, technically, because even though they are completely based on the male figures, the parts they look to be entirely different. I don't know if the feet are the same size either. Like, I feel like this is entirely new sculpt. Like, nothing is reusable between the men, which in a way is a good thing because in real life we don't really do that. So yeah, the first thing I notice is they are super light, and I don't want to say they feel cheap, but because they're so light, it kind of makes them feel like a cheaper figure. But I don't know, the quality of plastic I'm sure is just as good, but I think that it's just due to their anatomy, them being slender females rather than your average height sort of bulked up guys that would be the rest of the Action Force so far up until this wave. I like that they're I guess they're kind of completely the opposite of the figures we already have. They have all of the same articulation as the guys do, but of course it looks different since they have that super slender waist and then the long lengthy legs. They're basically like any comic representation of a female being, pretty thin and lengthy. Maybe that's why I imagine these figures being sort of ninjas, because they have like a look that I would expect for that type of character. So that's enough about them being feminine. I like the poses you can get them in. That's why I wanted to do something different. So I did pose one in sort of a weird, extensive pose there. But let's go ahead and wrap this review up. There's not a lot else to say about them. I have a couple QC issues that I will go ahead and talk about while we do size comparisons. So here is their male counterparts. One Spec Ops Trooper and one Delta Trooper. I have two of each of these guys, but these are the only ones that are close by. So let's go ahead and move that. If you guys didn't notice, I'm actually getting a little bit more comfortable with the camera, so go ahead and give me an applause for that. No, I'm just kidding. Which is why I'm making less cuts on my videos. So I hope you guys enjoy these types of reviews rather than just fact cut like a lot of people do. Every time you mess up, you make a cut. I don't really like to do that. So hopefully you guys enjoy that. I like the color scheme. As always, for some reason, cameras can't capture the green correctly. The blacks look the same. They are the same. Actually, that's a lie. Her arms are really glossy, and she's a lot more glossy on her torso. And his arms are more matte, and I don't know why that is. I think that's just a plastic thing, maybe the finish that they use. They do that for a lot of their figures. Like my Delta Troopers are really glossy everywhere. It's super inconsistent. I'm not sure what that's about. Maybe that's a behind the scenes thing that we'll never know, but it's just interesting to me. However, back to what I was trying to say, the greens are the exact same, it looks like, in real life. Yeah, they are. I don't know, maybe. It's hard to tell right now because of the gloss. They should be exactly the same, I'd imagined. Now I can't confirm or deny if they are the same. However, they are coming across on camera a little bit weird. So, nice. The green on the female Delta Trooper looks... Come on, stand. Not gonna happen. Looks to be a little bit dulled down, more grayish, hard to explain. And that is kind of how it is in real life. The male has more of an actual, closer to vibrant green. It's the only way I can really explain it. But they do still look uniformed enough. You can display them together, which is of course why we all buy these figures, to display them together. Already talked about the Spec Ops Troopers. My only complaint for these females and the Series 3 in general is the lack of gear packs for the troops, but we all know that's coming soon, so I'm not complaining about not having them. I'm just complaining about not having them to go ahead and review them all together, because if I had the gear packs, then you guys could have a better comparison, which I would enjoy showing more and messing around with. I would actually like putting the gear on the figures myself. So one other thing to note as far as details and differences that I noticed is the boots are completely different. They lack a lot of detail. They have some sort of armor. They almost look like rain boots, maybe because they don't have paint apps. But they have like shin armor, and the knee pads are also super different. If you can tell, my Delta Trooper is probably easier to see it on. So this knee pad on the female looks like it's actually part of the pants, and then the one on the left looks like it's not really, like it's a separate piece. I don't really know. And I would imagine they're both sort of, they don't have straps, so they're both sort of like pants that you just slip on, and the knee pads are attached to the pants and not separate. But the design of the pad being so different makes me sort of think more that these were designed with the pants and these were like an afterthought. I like that they do have some subtle differences, and I don't know if it's just a quality control issue, but the belt looks a lot different on the male versus the female Delta Trooper there. So there's not a lot to say other than that. They do have the same pockets, it looks like. And yeah, so they're the same design for the most part, except for a couple little armor pieces, which I'm sure that'll tie into the gear pack that we get being differently for the figures. So that will be pretty interesting to see. Now, one thing I want to see, since the heads are different, I want to see how stupid it would look if I pulled the helmet off and put it on the female. Okay, it doesn't look bad at all, actually. If you want a certain look, you can achieve that. So here's what this looks like, if it'll focus. Since the male head is smaller, it fits further into the helmet, and the female head just kind of takes up the entire helmet. But it does not look out of place for some reason, or at least in my mind. You guys can let me know what you think. If it was supposed to be designed like this, I'm sure we've seen the male helmets on these before. I could be wrong. Maybe that's what they were going for, since I know Action Force is a very parts-based line. What's the word? I can't think of it. Anyways. Alright, so I think that's enough rambling for the day. You guys have seen the figures, you've seen the accessories for one of the figure, which is the same for the other one. I don't need to take the weapons out and put them in their hands. The weapons are all interchangeable. There's no difference. I'm sure on some of the other figures we might see a size difference. I'm not sure if the weapons are sized differently for females and males. I don't think they are, because in real life they're not, and we know Bobby's kind of based a little bit on realism when it comes to this line being military-esque. So my thoughts on the figures ultimately are a must-have for any Action Force collector or toy fan in general. If you already like what Valverse is doing with these figures, then like me, you have to have the female figures to go with the rest of your squads. And if you don't like Action Force as a whole, then you're not going to like these, because for one, you're most likely not watching this video if you don't like Action Force. But if you're on the fence about it, I would go ahead and pick them up if you already have another Action Force figure. And if you don't have any more Action Force figures and you want to get into Action Force, these cost about the same as the other ones, so I wouldn't really say buy these, but you might want to buy them because I'm sure they'll sell out quicker than some of the guys will. And I like that they're not much different. They're not articulated any differently. They're not designed with any less effort like a lot of female figures we've seen. I know just first thing I'm thinking of is some of the like Marvel Legends female figures have less articulation, or they don't have double jointed elbows or double jointed knees. They all have single joints, things like that, compared to the men who in those lines that have double joints. I like that they're not of a lesser articulation, for lack of better vocabulary there. So that's pretty much all I can say. I can show you more figures next to them, but I'd rather you guys just go out and pick them up for yourself and just enjoy the figures that you have. You've already seen a size comparison whether I have different figures here or not, we know that Action Force is the same. And what is that in my gun? Hold on. This is funny. Is that dirt? It's gotta be. Yeah, I took these guys outside. I shouldn't have done that. I can get that out. That's dirt. I thought I broke a muzzle flash off. I took them outside and took a little photo on my Instagram of one of my Spec Ops troopers and the Delta trooper and is it blowback? Yes, blowback. So I got dirt on the figures, which I don't mind because military figures should get dirty every now and then, and I think that's where they're gonna shine, is in photography mostly. And I like that this is a fairly realistic representation of sort of average female here, the head being a little oversized and almost squished in. It's gonna look good in photos, so that's all I'm gonna say before I go off on some really weird rant about me taking my stuff outside. I think my Instagram might be in my about section on my channel if you guys want to check that out. If not, it's just my name, which of course you guys know my first name is Riley, and then with a period in between it, and then Pettit is my last name spelled, since most people don't know how to spell it. But it might be in my bio. The first picture you'll see on there is the picture I was talking about just now with the Delta Trooper blowback and the Spec Ops Trooper outside. If you guys check that out, that's cool. You can follow me there. I don't really post that often. I prefer to post YouTube videos rather than photos. But anyways, that's it. I'm going to stop talking. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe for more. I'm going to go ahead and review more figures now. So.